major food chains. So first one is the grazing, so which starts from the producers, and that is here two types of food chains are observed. That is the grazing food chain and detritus food chain. So grazing food chain means which starts from the producers. That is the green plants to the terrestrial and green plants in the terrestrial ecosystem or marine ecosystem or pond ecosystem. And detritus, which starts with the dead organic matter, which mainly in the mangrove ecosystem or any other places also. So that is the fallen leaves or any dead organic matter. So on this, the organisms, microorganisms start. So types of food chain, that is mainly two types of food chain, that is the grazing food chain and detritus food chain. So grazing food chain means example. So here the grazing food chain means it starts with the green plants, that is the producers. If the food chain which starts with the producers, it is called as a grazing food chain. So here first one is the grass. So this grass is eaten by rabbit. So rabbit to fox, so and lion. So in this way here, it transfer the energy from the, so the energy is absorbed by this rabbit, like that here the transfer of energy. So here each one it is called as a trophic level. So grass comes under one trophic level and rabbit comes under another, that is the primary consumers, fox secondary consumers, and lion as a third consumer. So like this here the transfer of energy will takes place, that is eaten and being eaten. So next one is a detritus food chain. So in detritus food chain, that is from the soil, that is earthworms in the soil. So from the earthworms to rat, next to rat to snake, and snake to eagle. So here it starts in the that is dead organic matter. So that is generally the dead organic matter which is present in the soil, which is converted into simple complex, simple matter substances by these earthworms. So these earthworms are eaten by rat, like that. Here the transfer of energy, that is the here the food chain which starts with the dead organic matter, it is called as a detritus food chain. So here the trophic levels in the food chain. So mainly three trophic levels in the food chain are observed, that is the producers, consumers, and decomposers. So here the trophic level of different ecosystems are there, that is the grassland and pond ecosystem and ocean. So here in the grassland, that is the primary producer is the grass. Whereas in the pond, that is the algae. That is the algae are some what you call low algae. Algae, that is chlorophyll members mainly, and here in ocean that is the phytoplankton. So they comes under the primary producers. So in the grassland, next that is the primary producer is the grass, and next it is followed with the grasshopper, next rat, snake, and hawk. So in this way, in the grassland ecosystem, these are the different trophic levels. Okay, that is primary producers. In the grassland ecosystem is the grass, like that. So it will be continued. So here the example for pond ecosystem is the algae, which is eaten by the mosquito larvae, next dragonfly, next fish, and raccoon. So like that, here the transfer of energy will takes place from the algae to, that is producers to the quaternary consumer. So in the ocean, the primary producers are the phytoplanktons, and it is eaten by zooplanktons, next fish, seal, and white shark. So these are the examples of food chains in different ecosystems. So we already know that this is producers, that is producers make their own food, and that is green plants use energy from the sun to prepare the food. So producers on the bottom of the food chain. So here simple grazing food chain, that is the grass which is eaten by deer, next lion. So it is a simple grazing food chain. So here grazing food chain. So here when we observe an ecosystem, so here the plant producers, so they observe this solar energy and they convert into food materials, the organic substance they produce. So here from these producers to the consumers, that is the herbivores, from the herbivores to the omnivores. Like that, here the transfer of energy will take place from this herbivores to omnivore consumer. So from the omnivores to carnivore and detrivores. So the dead organic matter, so that is again after death and decay of this. So this is again eaten by this detrivores. So like that, here the transfer again the soil also they reach. So here it takes place in the cyclic manner. So terrestrial food chain, example for this, it is considered again terrestrial food chain, grazing food chain and terrestrial. So if the food chain which occurring in the terrestrial ecosystem, it is called as the terrestrial. Grazing food chain means if the food chain which starts in with if the producers, if the food chain which starts with the producers, it is called as a grazing. So in the marine, so in marine food chain, that is a phytoplanktons, they are eaten. That is these are the comes under the primary producers. Phytoplanktons are eaten by zooplanktons. They comes under primary consumers. From the zooplanktons to small fish, secondary consumers, large fish, tertiary, and whale. That is the quaternary consumer. So the food chain of an all. So here plant, that is producers to herbivores, herbivores to omnivores, mouse to all. So a food chain shows the path of energy from one living thing to the another. So decomposers like bacteria, which are necessary for all food chains. So what happens after? So after some time, after few years, for example, so the death and decay of these organisms will take place. So if the decomposers are not available, what happens? So these growth will be increases. So the what you call this dead organic matter will be increases. So if there is no decomposers, they will not convert this complex matter into simple. So it becomes we can't leave. Okay, so because of these decomposers, they convert this dead organic matter into simple forms, and so due to which only here this ecosystem will be surviving. So decomposers also plays an important role. So otherwise, some what you call toxins also released from this. But due to presence of this decomposer, they converting this complex matter or toxic substances into non-toxic substances. So here the detritus food chain. Another one is the detritus food chain. So here it starts with the dead matter. So here the dead leaves, for example. So which are eaten by the wood louse. So again it is eaten by the blackbird. So like that. So it is an example for detritus. So detritus food chain which starts with the dead organic matter. For example, leaf or any dead body. So here detritus any body. So here the primary detritus feeders. So next it is eaten by the secondary detritus feeder. So in the mangrove ecosystem. So here the mangrove plant. So here detritus and here soldier crab, so small fish. So here the sea grass, that is detritus, that is dead. So here from this marine mouth, so in this way, so here different ecosystems. So it may be varies. The producers may be varies. Okay. Producers and that is it may, so based on the ecosystem, the producers and these trophic levels may be varies. So mangrove trees drops their leaves and flowers and seeds. So it is eaten by the small fish, crabs, and and it is eaten by the big fish. And again, it is eaten by the water birds. Like this, here it will continue.